Hello guys, my name is Khan and this is the second set of videos that I'm going to make for Visual Basics for application, and for this set of videos again I will be using VBA through Excel, and in this video I will be mainly talking about how you can record a macro. We have already covered that how you can record a macro, but the importance of this video is that I will show you that how you can record a macro with the option of use a relative reference cells. Actually, use relative reference option really can make your life easier, especially in some tasks where you really need a grunt work. You can record a macro with the help of use relative reference option, and it can make your life very easy. So for this video I have some classes data. This is the file that I will be using. I will open it up. So as you can see it here, I have the data starting from year. So there is a class data per year. So in year 2002 we have 5 subjects, and for those subjects we have these marks, and again we have year 21, and then for the same subjects we have the same marks, and we can keeps on going. We have keeps on collecting the data till 2008. But the point to note here is that the way we have collected the data is not something which is very easy to use. So suppose if someone asks you what is the average of average math score, then you can see it's a bit difficult to create an average. And suppose as a data analyst you will like that your data will be probably in this format. Suppose you will like year column, then you can copy maths, the subject name, and you can paste it here, transposed, and then you can also copy. So this is the kind of a manual way, copy, and you can transpose it here, and then you can say year is 2000, which you can copy it from here and paste it here. But it will be really cumbersome to do year by year, and in this example I just have 2008, but maybe your data goes from very long way and you may have to copy paste maybe 100 times, 1000 times, or maybe more than that. Then it will become really impossible to do it manually. So for this thing we can record a macro with the help of use reference cells. And what does it mean? So before recording the macro, what I will do, I will just delete these numbers, because I will be saying to the macro to paste those numbers here. So if you can see, here is a developer tab, and suppose if you are a new viewer of my videos and if you don't know how to put a developer tab, as you can see here I have a developer tab, but if you unable to see a developer tab in your Excel, there is no need to worry. If you go to file, there is a option, as you can see here we have the options, and once you get the options under the customized ribbon, here you can see I have a developer tab which is already checked in. So just check in that and press OK. After doing that you will be able to see the developer tab too in your Excel. So now it's time to record a macro. So before recording the macro, if you see that it's a developer tab, here we can click it to record the macro, but I want to record the macro with use relative references. Before starting recording the macro, an important thing to note here is that in my raw data, if you see year 2002 data starting from here, and then I have 2 blank rows, and then 2001, and this pattern is exactly the same for each data. As you can see, every time I have 2 empty rows and then year 2002. And the other thing is that all these subjects are entered in a same sorting order, as you can see, again and again till year 2008. So because the data is in a very same format, or you can say that each cell can be referenced exactly the same, So suppose English is in the second, and here the English subject score is also the second. So here we can use relative reference option while recording the macro, and it will make our life very easy. So before recording the macro, what I will do, I will opt this option, use relative reference, and then because I will be using a relative reference, so I will select, before recording the macro, I will select this option year 2002. I'm just giving an example. For my example, I'm selecting this year first. You will get to know why when I will start recording. And now I will record the macro. Record macro. Before recording macro, I can call it macro 1. And I suppose what's the short key that I will be using? I'm giving a name, Control D. It will help me to execute my macro more quickly. As I said that again, I'm giving a short key of my macro as Control plus D. I'm not giving a description, it's optional. And again, this macro will be applicable to this workbook only. So I'll say okay. So now Excel start recording the macro. What I will do, I'll say Control C, put it here, Control V. So under the year, I'm saying that this row will be containing the year 2000 data. And then again, I will be doing Control C, and then here right click, and then I will be using this transpose option. And after that, make sure that you came here and then selected this data row. And as you can see, when I have selected this, there is still some copy function going on. Make sure that you ended this copy function by pressing Control S. So I selected this cell, and then I stopped recording my macro, as you can see. So I stopped recording it. And now what I will do, as I told you guys, that I have created a shortcut for this macro, which is Control D. So if I press Control D, as you can see, it have pasted the data of 2001 in this format. And if I keeps on pressing Control D, you can see that it keeps on changing my data according to my need. But the point here to note here is that even we have recorded a macro, but still there are empty rows which I don't want. I want that 2001 appear here. So what I will do, just on the safe side, I will save this Excel workbook first, and then I will show you how you can even remove these spaces too. So in order to, because I have recorded a macro, so I have to save this Excel sheet as Excel macro enabled workbook, not as simply as XLX file. So I will go to here to my file. I will say save as. I will say this is the folder that I am using, and I will just change the name to. And here I don't want to save it as Excel workbook, otherwise I will not be able to save my macro. So I will say come here, and then I will be using this option, Excel macro enabled workbook, save. So what I will do, I will just close it, go back to my folder. As you can see, this data set is just an Excel workbook, whereas I have saved this data file, data2, as Microsoft Excel macro enabled worksheet. And you can see that even the sign of this workbook is different than the Excel worksheet. So what I will do, just for the safety, Control C, Control V, rename it. So I think we don't need to rename it. Okay, we will use it as it is. Enable content. And what I will do, I will just, because I will be telling you that how you can remove this spacing, I will delete these things first. Again, I will write down the column names here. I will get the subject here, Control C, paste it here, transpose. And now what I will do, I will create another macro which will allow us to even get the data without spacing. So year 2000 data here, 2001 and so on. So how we can do it, I will go to my developer tab. First, the important thing is the select from where you will be selecting, because we will be using the option use relative reference. Again, make sure that you checked in use relative reference option. Then I will say record macro. I will name it as macro 2. For this I will be using Control G to execute it. Okay, and now what I will do, I will say Control C, paste it here, and then I will select my marks, Control C, paste it here. And now what I will do, I will just delete these rows. Delete it. And then I will select year 2001. And now what I will do, I will stop recording. I hope that no error will occur. So let's see what I can do. Now, as I said, that the shortcut for this new macro will be Control D. Sorry, I think I have done an error. What I have done is that I haven't deleted all the rows till this Control 5. So that's why I have created a copy which will help me to recorrect it. But suppose if I rerun this macro Control D, as you can see, it's just pasted the data here. I just also need to delete all these 3 items too. And if I keep on doing that, I still having the same issue again and again. So in order to remove that, I will record it again. So I will just close it, don't save it. I will just delete it, and I will copy it again, Control C, Control V. Now I will record it with a bit care. Enable content. Again, what I will do, I will delete these columns, and I will quickly say year. Subjects will be copied from here, Control C, transpose. Now I will start recording it. So I will go to developer. So I will go to first I will see how many macros I have. Okay, I have just one macro. I will be opting this option use relative reference, and then I will be using record macros. Control, I will be option for macro 2 I will be using the shortcut Control G. Okay, and now Control C, paste it here, Control V. Then I will be selecting all these numbers, Control C, transpose it, paste it here. Now what I will do, I will select all these rows, delete them, and then I will be selecting year 2001. Now I will stop recording it. As I can see, my shortcut was Control G. You can see that the data from 2001 get there without any spacing. Then Control G, now we also have the data from 2002. Control G, we also have the data from 2003, Control 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. So as you can see that how easily we able to get the data into the right format with the help of recording the macro, and also with the help of use relative references. But suppose if you further, because recording the macro is the one step. The second step is that you can even manipulate whatever you have recorded further according to your need. So in order to do that, what you can easily do, you can go to your macros. And suppose if you want to edit your macro too, you can go to edit, and it will take you to the code window. This is the way we have saved our macro in the back end. This is the coding, and you can even So instead of executing by Control plus G again and again, you can even create a loop to do it more efficiently. So this is all about that, how you can record a macro with the relative reference cells option. Thank you for watching the video.